Okay, so let's try the next coding exercise. So open the leetcode.com and go to the problems tab. And if you scroll down, search here, contains duplicate. And it's duplicate. I feel like problem number 217. So it's come under the easy category. So let's open this. So let's read out the question. In the question, it is mentioned given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array, and return false if every element is distinct. So basically, if the array contains duplicate elements, then we have to return true. That is, so array contains duplicate. The question says contains duplicate. So yes, the array contains duplicate, so we need to return true. So if the array doesn't contain any duplicates, so like in 1, 2, 3, 4, like no element like repeated twice, so we have to return false because it doesn't contain any duplicate. So how to solve this question, right? So let's try to see the brute force approach. So there are 3, 4, even maybe more methods, and we will try to see 2, 3 methods and to solve this question. The first brute force method is we will check each and every element, and we will check like, so let's start from one. We will check one, whether the one element come here, then we will compare with this, then we will compare with this. Okay, it found. If it did not found, then we will compare 2 with 3, then 1, then 3 with 1. So we are keep checking each and every element. So that is the brute force method. As part of the brute force method, so let's suppose we want, this is the array 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5. So we want to check whether by using the naked eye we can see, okay, this contains the duplicate because 3 is duplicated. But if the array length is more, because if you see the constraint, the length could be 10 to power 5, then it's very difficult. If only one element is duplicate, then using the naked eye it's very difficult. So what we will do as part of the brute force approach, we will start with the 1. So if it is 1, then we will check from 2 to 5 whether 1 is there or not. So if then 2 is equal to 1, no. 3 is equal to 1, no. 4 is equal to 1, no. 3 is equal to 1, no. 5 is equal to 1, no. Okay. So 1 is unique. Then we will check 2. For 2, we will check from 3 to 5. 2 is equal to 3, no. 2 is equal to 4, no. 2 is equal to 3, no. 2 is equal to 5, no. Then we will check 3. Right. So 3 is equal to 4, no. 3 is equal to 3. As soon as we find some equal to, we are going to return true. Right. So this is basically a brute force approach in which we are running a two loop. So first loop will, like, we are checking each element and that element with the some other elements. So there are two loops. So let's try the brute force approach first, and whether the brute force approach is accepted by the our Leetcode or not. So let's try. So n is equal to length of nums. So for I in range, so we have to start from 0 to n minus 1. Why n minus 1? Because when we reach to 3, if we reach to 1, we can't check 1 with other elements. So because to compare, there should be some next element. So that's why the first loop till only 3. And then second, for j in the range. So we need to compare 1 with the second element. So for j in range I plus 1, whatever the next element till n. And we will check if nums of I equal to nums of j, then return true, otherwise return false. So if in any, by checking all the elements, if we found any element which is equal to the other element, then we are going to return true, otherwise we return false. So let's try to run it. So this is the brute force approach. So all three test cases are fine. These three. Let's try to check all the test cases by submitting the question. Hopefully this is not going to accept it because of the constraint is 10 to power 5, and it will take maybe some more time. You see, still checking. So now only 65 test cases has been accepted, and we are getting time limitations. So this is like, which is very genuine, because if we see this array by the naked eye, we can't see if it contains duplicate or not. So let's try some other approach. So this is the first approach. All right. So let's try the some another approach. 1 minute. So let's see the second approach, because the first approach of like brute force approach, that is by running two loop did not work because few test cases failed because of time limit exceed. So let's try the second approach. So in the second approach, what we can do is, like, we know we have some array, like list is given, so we can make a set. So if we know there is a one data structure in the Python that is called a set. Set contains the unique element. So if we create a set from this element, then the set is 1, 2, 3. Then what we can do is we can compare the length of the list and the compare the length of the set, and we can difference it. If the difference is equal to 0, it means there are no duplicate. If the difference is greater than 0, it means the list has like some more element, and if there is a more element, which it means this list can contain duplicate. Example, so let's suppose this is the list, so we can create a set. Set contains only unique elements, so set could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can see that the length is 5, here the length is 6. So it means nums contains the duplicate element. So let's try that. So what we can do is we can create a set of nums, and we can do if length of nums minus length of num set is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0 means length of num is greater and length of num set is less. Then it means nums contain some duplicate element. Otherwise, we are going to return false. So let's try that. So 3 accepted. So let's try to submit it. So our solution has been accepted. All right. So let's try to do the uh, third approach. So is there any other method? So yes, there is some, like even more methods. So what we can do is, in the third approach we can use, because like in the second approach we use this set as a data structure. In the third approach we will use the dictionary as a data structure. And what we can do is, so we will traverse all elements, right? And we will create a dictionary, empty dictionary, and we will check each and every element whether that element is in dictionary or not. So we will traverse with one. So is one in the dictionary? So as an example, so let's suppose we create some dictionary, then we will start with one. Is one in the dictionary? No, because dictionary is empty. If it is not in the dictionary, then we are going to store. So we are going to store with some value, like example 1, 2, any value. Then we check with 2. Is 2 in the dictionary? No. Then we are going to store. Then we check with 3. Is 3 in the dictionary? No. Then we are going to store. If 4 is in the dictionary, no. Then we are going to store. Then 3. Is 3 in the dictionary? Yes. 3 is already in the dictionary. Then we are going to return true, because it means we get one element as a duplicate. Then we are going to return true. We don't need to check the further elements. So let's try that. So we will create a dictionary that is a hash map. All right, and then we will check for I in nums. So if I in hash map, if it is there, then we are going to return true, because that number already exists in the dictionary. It means that number is duplicate. Otherwise, we will update our dictionary with value, like any value, or maybe on just one. All right. So let's try to run that. And if nothing will work, then return false. Oh, sorry. We are just we are running only from I to num, so there is no nums of I. So hash map of I. Let's run it. So accept it. So let's try to submit it. So that also work. All right. And there is a one more approach. So the fourth approach is, so let's we can see, like we already like tried three approaches. One is brute force, one is the second approach using the set, then using the hash map. There is a third approach as well. So within the third approach, what we can do is we can sort the array. So as an example, so let me show you the fourth approach as well. In the fourth approach, what we can do is, so let's suppose this is a dictionary. So we can sort it. So sort now. So if you sort it, all elements come to, like all same elements come at same place. 3, 3, 4, and 5. And then we can run a loop starting from the second element. And if second element is equal to the previous element, then it means it's duplicate. So we will start from 2. Is 2 equal to 1? No. Then we start with 3. Is 3 is equal to 2? No. Then we start with the next 3. Is 3 is equal to 3? That is the previous element. Yes. As soon as we found it, we are like returning the 2. That is the list contains the duplicate. And we can like normally sort it like sort of nums, and which has the time complexities and log n. All right. So we can do that as we can do this. All right. So there are like many methods in, like we can like solve this question. So you can also try. So this come under the easy category only, but within the easy category, we always first try with the like brute force, which we already tried. Then we will try to optimize it. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you.